Well, top of the morning to you laddies. My name's the Man Buck. Welcome back to the old school series here on Midwest Horizon. Currently right now we are just finishing up getting ready to start beans. I have just a few more tasks left to go, like getting the Westfield here hooked up to our Ford, which now we can really just leave that there since we don't need to worry about that. But we have a lot of big investments that are coming to the farm. The biggest of which right now we're going to do right after we get the case out, which has been completely prepped for beans. We've serviced it, we've greased it, we've checked over all of our belts, chains, and everything that needs to be checked on that axial flow. Well, we are going to be putting on some single wide floaters on the 5020, as well as I have a handful of cluster parts to replace our gauges currently that do not work on this tractor. I want to be able to tell how much fuel I got. I want to be able to tell how hot the engine's running. I want to tell my work RPM. So we're going to have those fixed. I found some stuff online, but we also need to keep things clean. And one thing about that is we just also invested in a brand new Karcher pressure washer. But what would a great pressure washer be without the great soap to clean it? Farming doesn't have to be dirty, folks. Andy Clean has definitely supplied. My great friend Andy ended up sending me 4 jugs worth of 5 gallons on Andy Clean. This is a great high-performance soap cleanser, as it states on the packaging. You just dump the soap right into the foam cannon, and we'll have all this stuff nice and cleaned up before we head to harvest. We also have to run over to Don's and run our trade deal on the IDI. But I think for starters, what I need to do is I need to go run to get the mail. So let's go check if there's any bills. Now, all jokes aside, besides my voice still sounding horrible, I apologize. We have 4 things we need to do on our list today. One being we need to go and trade out the Jeep here for my neighbor Don's 7.3 IDI Ford. I still have that poll result, and you guys by a landslide wanted the Ford instead of the Jeep. I know the Jeep's a really popular vehicle on this series, but the poll's the poll, and I know Don's going to take care of it. Second up, we're going to be doing the big floater tire conversion on the 5020 in the shop. Going to get the case out and hooked up to our bean headers. That way we have our big new floaters so we can get less compaction while we're running in the fields. Fourthly, we're going to get everything on the farm washed and cleaned so that way we can get and hit the fields with brand new clean looking equipment. And lastly, we'll start cutting beans. So without further ado, close the hood on our Jeep here. And just an updated process on the old Camaro here. We currently have this thing primered, as well as we found some quick marketplace rally rims. So the car is at least looking halfway decent. But right now I'm currently in the process of replacing the front main seal right off the crank pulley. So not too fun of a job. It's not too difficult, but it's still just a hassle to... I don't think I'm going to have... The seal I bought, I don't have to pull off the timing cover and all that stuff, but... we'll worry about all that process later. Let's get the Jeep started up here and let's head over to Don's. Now, if you guys have not already, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe down below. As you guys do know, we are on our race to the 100,000 subscriber mark by the end of this year. I really appreciate you guys, and anybody new to the channel who's stopping by, as Old School Series is one of the leading flagships of content that is on this channel. I really do apologize for the sake that it's just not as consistent with the upload of these big series, but I do also want you guys to know that I really do try and put as much quality into the product that is being presented to you guys when this content is released. But thank you guys again just for sticking around with me, and I hope you guys do enjoy this episode, as there is our IDI waiting for us accordingly. Oh, now, Don, you didn't tell me about the square body that you had. Obviously, I'm not here to purchase that because we only have 20,000, which we did sell quite a few hay bales. That is a big reason, as you guys saw in the community post. We sold a lot of hay bales. We sold like $30,000, almost 900 bales worth of hay. So we have ourselves a little bit of chunk change left. Howdy, Don. I'm ready to buy. I'm ready to take that 7.3. I got the old Jeep sitting outside. Now tell me about this. What is this all about? A 454 square body Chevy. Shotgun exits. I need to find me a set of them mud flaps. That'd be really cool to put on the old the 6.2. So I guess old Don's gonna end up letting me drive the square body down. Which that's kind of cool. I couldn't afford a truck like this right now, plus I already also have a square body Chevy, so not in the market for it exactly, but it's a 4-speed. It's the 3-speed with the granddaddy low, but as we know from the heavy-duty trucks, this is actually just a 4-speed Chevy. But you can definitely tell it's got the glass packs underneath of it, because this is kind of a loud truck. I don't mind it. I like a big 454. But Don and I decided that we were just going to do just a simple wash of the trucks, since we're getting 2 great products. He has uses for the Jeeps, I have uses for the Ford, and we just said bygones be bygones, so thank you, Don. Have a great harvest season, and see if this thing still starts after sitting for a while. It's kind of chilly. Wouldn't be a 7.3 if it took just a little bit too long for it to start in mild weather. But either way, let's head back to the farm and let's start working on that tire swap on the 5020. Now, while we let that warm up, let's get the Case IH out of the shop here. And just so everybody knows, yes, the 5020 is still my... Oh, not the Camaro. Camaro ain't gonna go anywhere. Camaro's still not gonna go anywhere. Okay, apparently we're gonna be harvesting with a box fan for this matter. Now, even though the 5020 may be my favorite tractor of all time, it is still adamant to note that what we're about to do will make it the embodiment of everything that I love about that tractor. We have ourselves some plans to make this tractor look like an absolute beast. It's going to perform, it's going to showcase, it's going to be everything that I've ever wanted the 5020 to be. But while we're already in the case, we might as well get it hooked up. We're going to be starting with beans, and I'm probably going to start on our field just in between the grass field and the river. So that way we can work from the farm, we can work from the furthest point in the farm all the way to our closest field. Now, I also did make a header change, which I know this is not the exact model that would be on this Case Combine, but it did look a lot more generationally correct to be hooked up to the front end of our case. So we'll let Darrel kind of start finicking around with the settings to make sure we're not throwing beans directly out the backside of this combine, as well as checking our shredders in the rear. So the first things I'm going to end up doing to this tractor is I would, if the collisions weren't bad on the axle, I would raise up with the jack stands, getting the front tires off the ground. But we're going to swap out these 4-rib front tires for 5 ribs, and then we're going to swap out these rear duals by taking off our dual hubs. We're going to put those in the back shed over here, and we're going to put on a set of 1,000 wide Firestones. So it's going to be a very big tire. I will just assure you guys that, as you guys saw from the community post, it's going to be something special. We currently have our gauges set up right over here on the counter. So we're going to get those installed up in the cab. I will see you guys here in probably about 3-4 hours, give or take how much pain this is to get the lugs separated from the tires. So we'll see you guys here in a little bit. And looky here, looky here. This is what we got, folks. I am so excited for this. So the long story short of what I ended up doing is I completely replaced the gauge cluster in the front, also getting my tachometer to work. I also have my coolant temperatures now up and operating. We also have our fuel gauge now reading, so now I know I'm under half tank just by sitting in the cab. I did also fix the animation of my throttle not necessarily looking like it's actually working, but now the steering column works. And of course, we also have the power shift now working, as well as some new decals for the dash. So this tractor is now fully operational and it is ready to go. The only thing I need to do now is pretty much get it all nice and cleaned up, and we're ready to hit the fields. Which, speaking of which, that is our next segment. So let's get everything lined up and let's get this stuff cleaned off. Now, I know we could just wash this stuff right out in the middle of the yard, but why do that when we have a perfectly good floor drain that we can drain all of that such great soap on right into our floor drain that we have installed in our insulated shop? So let's just do the intelligent thing and slam the plow blade right into my welding table, that's gonna get the job done, all right. We'll park up shop right here. Let's get our pressure washer filled up with our first jug of Andy Clean itself. So, perfect. So we'll set that right there. Get our pressure washer turned on. Let's clean this stuff up. Make sure we get all back in here by our linkage, which I ended up also investing in a brand new 3-point linkage back here for my top arm. This tractor is by far the sexiest it's ever been, and I'm going to say it as it is because this thing is an absolute animal. I will leave that there since we got to get this out and get our next vehicle in, which will probably be the 850. Next up, let's get this absolute tank of a tractor. This thing's new nickname is officially Hercules. This little 850 has went from 0 to hero on this farm. I've had no maintenance problems with it. The baler itself, we need to pull that ever so small bit of hay that's still jammed up in the compactor for the bale. Just get it all nice and cleaned out, which we're going to be doing here. But I absolutely adore this tractor. It has been nothing but absolute savings for this tractor so far. But just like anything else, let's get this baler cleaned up. Now, you guys will have to let me know down in the comment section if you think we should actually put some money and time into this tractor by getting it repainted, reserviced, I mean, making it look basically brand new. I'm starting to get a little bit more money, and after this year with crops, I'm hoping that I pull in a good profit. I should be able to have a really good yield, and if that's the case, we might have a little bit of extra spending money, and I would like to put that into something that's actually going to be useful towards the farm. The 850 definitely could be one of those candidates. He's cleaning up pretty well, though. But I got clumps of grass just falling off. But yeah, look at the paint on this thing. This thing could definitely use a fresh paint job. That is for certain. So let me know down in the comment section, guys, if we should put some money into this 850 and get it nice and clean and really start representing the farm with what the old school can really do. By the looks of it on our fuel gauge, we are running low on fuel, and I bet I'm going to probably need to service this thing again, too, because, I mean, it's just been running non-stop since hay season's been going. Now let's get in the swather. I'm telling you what, though, this Andy Clean soap is definitely some good, clean fun. I tell you what. I myself really want to try and use it while I wash my Impala next, which I'm going to definitely make a little short out of that. I swear, I just haven't had much time myself to take to really go out and get my own Impala that I bought for trade shows to get it clean. I really like to keep my stuff in good, clean condition, so thank you, Andy, for helping me out with getting this fantastic soap here on the farm. I really appreciate it. Which, if you guys are interested in the Andy Clean product itself, be sure to check out the link in the description down below, as you guys can find the link to Andy's store itself, and you guys can pick up some of this soap yourself for your farm or your own car. It's safe on any car, truck, tractor, combine. Probably wouldn't use it as body soap, maybe not shampoo. And lastly, let's get the Silverado here cleaned off, as the rest of the stuff on the farm pretty much doesn't need cleaned off exactly as badly as this stuff did. But now that we have the whole fleet here washed up and ready to go, I say we get into some beans. Now, I've gotten word that Darrel is ready and set to go with the case, so we're just going to pop over here to our 2 Parker gravity wagons, get these 2 things attached, and I need to take off that top piece of the drawbar. I can't remember exactly what that's called, but we don't need them for this gravity wagon setup. We just need the drawbar. It's like a safety hitch or something. But we're going to run over to those fields, and we're going to get the Mavic out, and we'll let Darrel start plucking away with the beans. So we are going to let Darrel fill up the rest of that combine with the beans in this field, as I'm pretty sure that hopper will not fill up the remainder of my back wagon. I've been wrong before. We're going to ring up here to Darrel quick, let him know that we're going to go and dump the gravity wagons and that we will just be staying over there, and we'll let him finish out the rest of this field. Sounds good, good buddy. We'll see you here in a bit. Now that I actually have these bigger tires on this 5020, it rides a lot smoother. I'll be interested to see how well it does during tillage season, but this will be our next field that we're going to be going into next. This is a lot longer of a field, and by the looks of our yield monitors on there, it looks like that field's pulling pretty good, about 75 to maybe 80% productivity, which is still not great, but it's a lot better than it could be. We could be looking at 50, and I just realized that my gravity wagons are on the wrong side, so let me just pull a 180 here quick and we'll get ourselves in the right direction. And let's get these soybeans dumped into our first bin. So this is the first grain of the season going in. I do want to hold on to this stuff for a little bit because prices themselves are not at their peak, of course. We show the price fluctuation right now. We technically are sitting right here in October, so we're almost at the lowest price. If we wait up until at least April or May, we're going to be able to sell for a lot better. Corn, on the other hand, we're going to have to just kind of let it dry so we can get a bit higher priced corn, but $8 corn right now, of course, to real life, that's really good corn, but this is Farm Sim. I'm still on the hardest difficulty, just maybe not getting $16 corn. But at least with our front hopper there, front wagon I should say, emptied out, let's just pull up and let's get the back one emptied. Into the bin you go, and that is all she has for the show. So as stated, what we're just going to do is we're going to pull just a little bit further ahead here. We'll park up right next to our corn, because this is the field we're going to be getting into for beans, and I have never seen it in Farm Sim, but this is the first time I've seen row crop planted beans. Like, I know this actually exists, just in regular, not regular, but like an air seeder or the dual population 30-inch spacings, where it's 15-inch spacings. They can plant beans where it's just big, looks like a big patch. This is the first time I've actually seen the beans planted in rows, so that's really cool. So rolling into the field over here now, it looks like Darrel might need to have at least one more unload done. But if that's the case, we'll send Corey out there. So I'm going to run into town quick with the 7.3. Darrel says he is good on fuel. But we're going to run into town quick here and deposit a loan check to the bank because, as you guys can tell, we have $19,995. But with that, we actually made about $25,000 off of hay season, as our ground actually produced over 900 small square bales. Pardon that little. And with those 900 square bales, we sold them at about $33 a piece to the animal market, and that equated to just under $25,000. So I'm gonna run into town here quick, pay off a little bit of extra debt that we ended up having. Overall, I think we've spent just in upgrades and financings almost close to $25,000. So thank you guys so much for checking this one out. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe down below. Also be sure to check out the rest of the Boomstick Club and the Old School Series playlist in the top right hand corner. You guys already know who's in that Boomstick Club. But that's going to do it for me, guys, as I need to rest my voice here. But we'll see you guys all in the next one. This is the Rental Man out. Peace.